Three members of one family, three lives cut short, and standing at the center of this horrifying crime, not strangers, not hired killers, but a daughter and her alleged live-in partner. What began as a family dispute over a relationship, mounting debt and property has now become one of Bengaluru's most disturbing triple murder investigations in recent years. A crime that police believe was not an act of sudden rage, but a carefully planned murder that spiraled into something far more horrifying. Welcome to today's episode of Deep Dive with me, Pia. We take you through the chilling timeline of what investigators say happened inside a quiet apartment in Segehali in Bengaluru's KR Puram, because every new revelation has only made this case more disturbing. Now, according to police investigation, the conspiracy was never meant to end with three deaths. The original target was just one person, 48-year-old Muthulakshmi. Police say that her daughter, 24-year-old Shweta, and Shweta's 26-year-old live-in partner Kenneth had allegedly decided that Muthulakshmi had to die. Investigators believe the motive was rooted in a toxic mix of family conflict, financial desperation, and resentment that had been building for months. Shweta's relationship with Kenneth had been bitterly opposed by her parents. At the same time, the couple had reportedly accumulated nearly 30 lakh rupees in bank loans. Unable to manage the repayments, police say they began demanding a share in the family's property. The parents refused. Then came another source of embarrassment and pressure. Loan recovery notices started arriving at the parents' residence. Family tensions, investigators say, had reached a breaking point. Then came Sunday night. Muthulakshmi had stayed back at her daughter's apartment. She wanted answers. Police say that an argument erupted over the live-in relationship, the deaths and the future. What happened next, according to investigators, was the execution of a murder plan. Muthulakshmi was allegedly stabbed to death inside the apartment. Shweta had reportedly claimed that Kenneth was in another room wearing headphones and knew nothing about the killing. But investigators say that explanation simply does not fit the evidence they have gathered. In the first murder was the plan. What happened next was preparation for the cover-up. On Monday morning, CCTV cameras allegedly captured Shweta and Kenneth carrying newly purchased large suitcases into another apartment linked to Kenneth in HAL. When police later searched another property connected to him in Doranekundi, they recovered a plastic drum, a cutter and a hammer. Investigators suspect these items had been assembled to dismember the body and dispose of it without attracting attention. But before that alleged plan could be carried out, everything changed. On Monday evening at around 8:30, Muthulakshmi's husband Somasundar and their 19-year-old daughter Supriya arrived at the apartment. They had become worried. Muthulakshmi was not answering her phone, and when they entered the flat, police say Supriya saw her mother's body and screamed out loud. Investigators allege that Shweta and Kenneth immediately turned on her. The 19-year-old was stabbed repeatedly, and she never made it out alive. Moments later, her father tried to intervene. Somasundar was allegedly attacked with equal brutality. Police say he suffered a devastating stab injury to the neck, but despite losing massive amounts of blood, he managed to escape and stumbled out of the apartment. He walked towards the entrance of the residential complex and collapsed near the main gate. What happened next would become the turning point of the entire investigation. Neighbors rushed to help, and before he succumbed to his injuries, police say that Somasundar made a dying declaration. He named his own daughter and Kenneth and specifically told those around him that Kenneth had attacked and stabbed him. That statement has become one of the most crucial pieces of evidence in the investigation. Because after her arrest, Shweta reportedly tried to distance Kenneth from the killings. She allegedly claimed she alone committed the murders and that Kenneth merely helped clean bloodstains afterwards. But investigators say the evidence points elsewhere. Forensic experts have found more than 30 stab wounds across the three victims. Police believe sheer ferocity and nature of the injuries strongly indicates the involvement of two attackers rather than one. With three members of one family now dead, the accused allegedly fled. Not through the front entrance. Police say they escaped by climbing onto the apartment terrace before making their way out. They first travelled in an auto rickshaw, then on a sports motorcycle, and their route eventually took them towards Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu. But even their escape began to fall apart. Their motorcycle reportedly broke down, and according to investigators, Kenneth feared that if they continued traveling together, Shweta's emotional state might attract public attention. The two allegedly decided to separate. Shweta boarded a bus to Puducherry and Kenneth travelled independently. Meanwhile, the KR Puram police had already launched extensive interstate manhunt. 6 special teams fanned out across neighbouring states. Shweta was eventually tracked to a hotel room near Puducherry railway station and was arrested there. Kenneth was caught separately while allegedly walking out of a liquor shop in the same area. Both now face charges in the triple murder case. There's been another disturbing revelation. During interrogation, police say Shweta showed very little remorse. According to investigators, she repeatedly blamed her mother for destroying her life. One statement attributed to her stands out. She reportedly told investigators that she was neither allowed to do anything on her own nor was allowed to be free. Her life was ruined by her mother. Investigators have also recovered what they describe as an important piece of psychological evidence. That is a diary. The pages reportedly contain handwritten entries describing loneliness, depression, isolation, and growing anger over her parents' opposition to her relationship and lifestyle. Whether those writings explain her state of mind or merely provide background to a crime police believe was meticulously planned will ultimately be determined during the trial. But to discuss more, we have with us Dr. Mohit Sharma, who is a psychiatrist. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time to speak with us on NewsX. This has been a rather grisly triple murder that has taken place in Bengaluru. What's really come out during the investigation is that the prime accused had felt alienated, had felt lonely, and was allegedly depressed. But is that really enough to carry out such a grisly murder, that too premeditated? What's really happened in your understanding?
See, this murder has occurred within a family. What we normally see in biological attachment are generally inhibit some violences. And parents are psychologically the hardest people to attack because attachment circuits creates empathy and guilt. When someone illegally kill immediate family members, psychiatrically we can say we will have to see what kind of things had happened in the past which has actually weakened these bonds. Some possible contributors maybe there might be some for it should be very long period of time. So for years there may be some resentment, some emotional alienation, some personal perceived oppression in the family, and chronic unresolved conflicts. Some gradual that causes some gradual dehumanization of that person. These people generally do not once in a day wake up and suddenly plan to murder the family. No, these things happens in a very long period of time because of some perceived victimhood in the family. As an outsider, some people may feel like this family is very normal. Everything is going very normal within it, but one individual in the family may feel as a victim, and there might be some kind of thought process like I am being controlled in the family. I have no freedom in there. My life is ruined because of these people. Once these perceptions become rigid, the family is no longer viewed as family members are not viewed as a loved ones. They started seeing them as an obstacle, and the psychological shift is a very dangerous one.
Absolutely, sir. With that, I would like to thank you for taking out the time to explain to our viewers in simple and lucid terms what could really have been going on in her mind, that she has murdered 3 of her own family members. On that note, viewers, we dip into a quick short break. More lined up on the other side. Stay tuned on NewsX.